Blink and you miss it, but did y'all see that alleged incident that happened in the elevator bank between Diddy and Cassie happened during a free off, according to Cassie's lawsuit? I don't know if y'all saw it. I don't know how you didn't, because as soon as it came out yesterday, I mean, it was everywhere. This video is very, very disturbing. I was distressed. That's why, I mean, a lot of y'all were saying, go live, talk about the Diddy, talk about the Cassie and Diddy. I couldn't. It was so distressing and disturbing to me. And I'm not even a person who was there. Like, I'm not even the victim of the whole thing. But if you did miss it somehow, there was footage released yesterday that is purportedly Diddy beating Cassie up. Now, I will say from my perspective, I can't tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that that is necessarily definitely Diddy. It certainly appears to be him. And CNN is saying it as if it is definitely Diddy. So, I mean, I don't know. We've seen CNN lie before, though, with the Chloe Mayloss Mockingbird Shell piece that she put out in 2019 that said there's no reason to free Britney Spears. So we know that CNN don't always get it right, to say the least, but streets are running with it, saying that's definitely Diddy. And we do have at least some evidence that it was them. And that evidence comes to us in the form of Cassie's now settled lawsuit that she did file against Diddy in November or December 2023. So I do have that lawsuit pulled up right here. And I just want to remind y'all, because I've seen people reporting on this, but I haven't seen them talking about it happened during a freak off. I haven't heard anybody talking about that. So here's that lawsuit. Let me pull it up. Again, this was settled like the day after she filed it. So this is the lawsuit, and this is the 5th section where they're talking about Diddy forcing Cassie into bleep traffic bleep. While in New York City, Diddy told Cassie that he wanted to engage in a fantasy of his called voyeurism. Diddy said that it would turn him on if he saw Cassie with another man. The first time, Diddy hired the man and brought the man to his home in LA. The man, Diddy, and Cassie wore masquerade masks, ingested substances, and Diddy directed Cassie to perform certain types of acts with this man while Diddy watched them do it. He took care of his own self, and he directed Cassie to do specific things to and with this man. And look, the entire encounter lasted multiple days. He began to call the arrangement a FO, or a beep off. He would repeatedly tell Cassie at random moments he wanted an FO. And Cassie was eventually expected to facilitate the location and the hiring of the male S workers. At certain points, he would insist on these events weekly. He would even repeatedly tell Cassie that the practice was their thing and their secret. FOs would often take place in hotel suites, including Trump International Hotel, L'Hermitage Beverly Hills, the London Hotel in Los Angeles, the Intercontinental in Century City. And that is where this alleged incident of the ABUSE did happen, allegedly. Other hotels were the Intercontinental in Atlanta, the Intercontinental in New York City, the One Hotel in New York and Miami, the Mandarin Oriental Hotel in New York and in Miami, the Fontainebleau in Miami. So this is where the FOs would take place. Okay. So if you scroll through this lawsuit and go down to paragraph 120, and you can find this lawsuit yourself, it is free and publicly available if you just go type into Google Cassie versus Diddy PDF. So here we are in paragraph 120, and it says, in or around March 2016, during an FO, look at this, during an FO at the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City, Diddy became extremely intoxicated under the substances and punched Cassie in the face, giving her a black eye. After Diddy fell asleep, Cassie tried to leave the hotel room, but as she exited, Diddy awoke and began screaming at Cassie. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. He grabbed at her, and then he took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her, causing glass to crash around them as she ran to the elevator to escape. She managed to get into the elevator, but when she got to the lobby, she quickly took a cab to her apartment. But once she realized that her running away would cause Diddy to be even angrier with her and completely stuck in his vicious cycle of abuse, Cassie returned to the hotel with the intention of apologizing for running away from her abuser. When she returned, hotel security staff urged her to get back into a cab and go to her apartment, suggesting that they had seen the security footage showing Diddy beating her and throwing glass at her in the hotel hallway. Upon information and belief, Diddy paid the Intercontinental Century City $50,000 for the hallway security footage from that evening. After this, okay, so this part is very important. This part is very important. Look at this. After this incident that happened in the hotel during an FO, where she was running away for her life seemingly, after that happened, she leaves her home in Comstock and she went to, quote, hide away at a friend's home in Florida. James Cruz, the president of Bad Boy Management, tracked Cassie down in Florida. And he told her that her single is not going to be released unless she answered Diddy's phone calls. And it didn't end there. The woman was being gang stalked, okay? Look at the next allegation. A woman who worked at Sony even reached out to Cassie with a similar ultimatum concerning her record. We're not going to release your record unless you get back in touch with your Diddy. Incredibly, Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs even convinced one of his own attorneys to call and check in and keep tabs and track down and gang stalk. This is alleged. This is all allegations. I don't know. I wasn't there, but this is what's being alleged. Look, right here, black and white. You can read it. Diddy convinced one of his attorneys to call Cassie. The lawyer told Cassie that, quote, it's in your best interest to call Diddy back. Each time Cassie tried to run away, Diddy and his powerful network would force her to come back to Diddy. And some other things have happened. I mean, there's been a lot of discussion about this situation. Like I said, this is a very disturbing and distressing video for me to have even watched. I certainly will not be posting it on my YouTube channel, but people have, and if you really want to see it, I would caution you that it's very disturbing. He's kicking her when she's on the ground. I mean, again, I don't know if it's Diddy for sure. I wasn't there, but it does match up with what Cassie says in the lawsuit. There have been other people, I think Slim Thug or something, one of them, came out and said when Cassie had originally filed this lawsuit that this was basically a money grab. And if Diddy had done something wrong, then he would have been charged or, I don't know, the same similar stuff that the abuse apologists always say. And, I can't fully fault him because I do know that where he was coming from was he was trying to support a black man, because it is true that historically a lot of people have been racially discriminated against in the application of the law and in the court of public opinion. So I do understand where he was coming from with wanting to blindly support Diddy, but at the same time, that's why you can't fully come out and say somebody's doing something for a certain reason without all the evidence, because now you have this guy going to come out and basically apologize and say, oh, sorry, Cassie. Now that I've seen this footage, it's changed my mind, which I do appreciate. I'm glad that he did do that. And I'm glad that the people who realize now that they were maybe not on the right side of history are coming out and owning up to that. And I'm not going to give people too hard of a time. I do understand where he was coming from. I totally understand his impulse and his desire to, have somebody's back whenever it was innocent till proven guilty and stuff like that. But you got to be careful who you ride for, because sometimes they beating people up in the hotel. You know what I mean? Now, will Diddy face any criminal charges for this? No. No. The Los Angeles District Attorney has made a statement as of yesterday, and I do want to read that statement to y'all. Let me pull it up. It says, statement on alleged video involving Sean Combs. We are aware of the video that has been circulating online allegedly depicting Sean Combs assaulting a young woman in Los Angeles. So again, they're not saying this was definitely Diddy, this was definitely Cassie, which I do appreciate. I mean, people really are innocent until they're proven guilty. I just want to be very clear. I don't know if this is P. Diddy, to be honest. It does look like him, and it does add up with the story and with the locations where Cassie alleged that these FOs did happen. But I don't know, and neither does the DA, so that's why they said alleged. So listen, they go on in their statement, their press release, to say, we find the images extremely disturbing and difficult to watch. If the conduct depicted occurred in 2016, quote, "Unfortunately, we would be unable to charge as the conduct would have occurred before the timeline where a crime of assault can be prosecuted. As of today, law enforcement has not presented a case related to the attack depicted in the video, but we encourage anyone who has been a victim or witness to a crime to report it to law enforcement or reach out to our office for support from the Bureau of Victim Services." Why? Why would somebody, they should have put, if you've been a victim of a crime or if you've seen one in the last 2 to 5 years, make sure you look up the statute of limitations, because if it's beyond the statute of limitations, we can't do shit and we're going to refuse to do shit. So, that isn't to say that I don't understand why statutes of limitations exist. I do. Sometimes, if you have all this time to do something, you have all this time to bring a charge or to go and tell the authorities about something that happened to you, you should act quickly. That being said, I also know that a lot of these statutes of limitations have exceptions. I would say even most have exceptions. And some of those exceptions are like, physically, the person literally could not bring the charges. And this Cassie case is seemingly one of those situations, because if you look at the other allegations and the other lawsuits and you think there's any merit or any truth to them, you will realize what would happen whenever Cassie would have tried to report this to the police. Where is G from the Chalice recording studio? Where even is that guy? Who knows? It's been alleged in court filings that Diddy, through his bodyguard, his main head of security, Fahim Muhammad, has very close, almost kind of like infiltration level connections to the LAPD. We also see in Cassie's allegations in the lawsuit, which again, this lawsuit has been settled, but we see what happened after she merely so much as just tried to run away. She just tried to run away. She had everybody in the world calling her. She had the lawyers calling her. She had Sony calling her. She had threats being made against her career. The head of Bad Boy Management was calling her. If you don't call Diddy back and you don't go back to Diddy and answer his calls, then you're going to not have your single come out. How's the woman supposed to support herself? She's been in the entertainment industry for years at that point. It's just... I understand why statutes of limitations exist. Really, truly, I do. But I do feel like this is one of those extenuating circumstances where it's like, why don't y'all at least look into the possibility that there's an extenuating circumstance that would have told that statute of limitations? And it certainly answers the question to me, why nobody comes forward. The woman's life was completely in danger. And then by the time this video finally surfaced, Diddy paid $50,000. $50,000 to the Intercontinental Hotel, apparently, allegedly. That's what's being alleged. Again, allegations in a lawsuit are not necessarily true. I've had people lie. I've had people lie about me in lawsuits. So I'm very sensitive to this. I really like to maintain the innocent till proven guilty. But I'll tell you one thing, it ain't looking too good for him. Now, how is this going to affect him in court? How is this going to affect him in the civil suits? How is this going to affect him in a potential criminal investigation, the trafficking one that's going on? I don't think it helps. But in those cases, I'm sure that Diddy's going to say that ain't him. He's going to say that was fake. That was somebody else. This is character assassination. And Diddy has even had the boldface, unmitigated audacity to post bullshit, to post stuff like, enough is enough. I have been slandered. And then the whole thing about the truth, about time tells all truth, like 5 days ago. And I commented on it. I said, yeah, you learning that every day, ain't you? Then not even 2-3 days goes by and this footage comes out. So you know what? Agree with Diddy on one thing. Time does reveal the truth. Can't wait to see what else it reveals. That said, take care of yourselves out there, because it is highly distressing footage and not something that I think anybody would be happy or pleased to look at. That's all I really had for today. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Neither are opinions. Love you, Minnie. Okay, bye.
Let me tell you something right now, because I know you're watching. I will be saying everything you tried to do to me.